my name is Storm, if you're not already familiar with me, and I'm going to be taking you through a Illustrator-based creative challenge for the next 3 weeks, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Let me say hello to people first. Hi, Alessandra, Apurva, and Idara over on Behance. Oh, and Idara is over on YouTube as well. Hello. Welcome to autumn. As the stream title suggests, we are having an autumn-based challenge this time around. Hi, Robert. Good to see you. How are you doing? Hope you're keeping warm. It is cold outside. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, summer decided that it was done. It's done its job, and now it's cold outside. But fear not. Oh, hey, Nate. Am I a bit quiet? How's that? Oh, wow, my mic just kind of jumped up there. Am I better now? Hi, Daniel. Hello, hello. Hopefully you can hear me a little bit better now. Is that better? Hopefully. Well, you let me know. But while we are here, my challenge is going to be about patterns. So, as it's autumn, why not? I figured it would be the best thing to do. Oh, hi, Barbara. Better? Oh, bit better. Oh, only a bit better. Turn it out a little bit louder. So, we are going to be creating a pattern that you can take and use in posters, in mugs, in all sorts. And I'm going to take you through the process from start to finish, from the conceptual part to actually building your patterns and thinking about things like colors and styles and consistencies. And we'll do that through Illustrator from start to finish. So don't worry if you're not super familiar with the program. We will be going through step by step. But of course, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me at any point. No problem, Nate. Thank you for telling me my mic was quiet. Right, so shall we get started? Your challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to choose 4 elements, autumn elements, and we are going to make them into a repeating pattern. So I'm probably going to need a little bit of help from you lot as to what makes a good autumnal motif, so to speak, like leaves and mugs and things that make you feel warm and cozy in this awful, well, not awful autumn season. I mean, it's my birthday soon, so I'm a little bit biased. But before we get started, as when it comes to any project, it's really important that you have an idea set in mind, and we do that with mood boards. So I went ahead and created a mood board of things that I might like to use for this project. So we've got things like leaves and warm cozy drinks and books and pumpkins and all. Oh, orange maple leaves. There we go. Pumpkins. Wonderful. So see, we already got that in our mood board here. Not an essential step, but it can help you put you on the right track. Once we've got our mood board, the next thing, you can probably see a theme going on here. Everything's kind of orange and brown and this sort of thing. So what I would suggest doing is grab a color palette. Now, if you have been on my streams before, you know that it's not my favorite thing to do. So I'm going to show you a little trick that I use. But before I get too far ahead of myself, I have created starter files for you. So if you aren't too sure about creating it and it seems a little bit intimidating, I have set some patterns for you to go ahead and use. So pancakes. Pancakes are autumn? Really? I'm not judging. I like pancakes. I'll have them all year round. So this file is here for you to start with. You can go in and you can play around with it. And I think there'll be a download link in the chat somewhere that you can go and use. But anyway, as far as color goes, I tend to recommend using Adobe Color. Now, if you've been in my streams before, you know I've spoken about this wonderful website. And here you can search or curate your own color palettes. For example, if we go over to Explore, you can already see there's some popular searches up the top: summer, neutral palette. We're going to put in autumn. And you get a whole bunch of palettes. You can scroll down and you can see the sort of colors people have started putting with their reference images as well, which is a really good place to start a lot of the times. That is not very autumnal, but you know, I like it. So when you found one you like, you can either download it as a JPEG, and if you do that, it will look something like this. So it'll come up with the different swatches and their hex codes, and you can just color pick from there. Or, which is what I do, you add it to the library. And once you've done that, you can see my library is, where is my library? Ah, down here. These Orange Autumn on the River. I didn't know that's what it was called, but I have all my colors here. And then what I tend to do on another layer, if I zoom out, you can see a little bit better, is I set all my colors up here for easy access. But of course, it means if you're not using the color picker tool and, for example, you just want to create a shape, you can just click on it. Like, say, for example, if we're on the front, the foreground color, if we just click on one of the colors, it will automatically switch. So you've got all your colors set. So I think we are more or less set. So why don't we start by creating some of our motifs? For me, I was thinking flower, because I really like the look of these sort of little flowers in the vase. I don't know how many flowers I'm going to do. We'll see how we go. Books. I'm not a book girly. I wish I was. I just don't have the time, but I like the idea. Pumpkins, obviously. And we'll try and add some orange maple leaves in there. Why not? And a mug, because I need tea at all times when it gets cold. So let's start with the flower. Now, there are many ways that you can do this. You can follow the way that I'm going to do this, if it helps you, but there is more than one way to come to your conclusion of your projects. I don't feel like there is only one way to do something. If it doesn't work for you, that's okay. We all have different maps. We'll get there in the end. So first thing I'm probably going to do, if I pop my references, my mood board here, so I can see, I quite like these sort of daisy looking ones. It's not quite the color palette I have, but the center, or I've forgotten my primary school like studies of what the anatomy of a flower is. what's the center part? Oh, I'm so embarrassed. I've forgotten the bit where all the pollen is. That's orange, but this is more white, so I'll probably just quickly drag over here. I kind of like the look of this, so probably what I'm going to do is repeat this, and I'll go in a radial, which looks good. And when you choose things like this, you have all these little handles, and if you click and drag them, they all do something a little bit different. In this one, it changes the instances, and that's basically how many times the shape repeats itself. Over here, you can choose where it starts and stops. So if you wanted a semicircle or something, for example, and here you can choose where it sort of joins. So I kind of like this. It looks like a flower, I think. Yeah, I like the look of that. And then we'll add a circle in the center, and I will choose that orange color. And if you have, I think it's called snap to grid on, if you see when I'm moving around, there's these little purple lines that pop up everywhere. That is it snapping, so it will snap to the center or intersect or things like that, which is usually a very useful way of aligning things. Now, if I double click in here, I can still edit the shape if I want to. I was thinking maybe that I add an outline, which could be quite interesting, but because of the way the shape overlaps, I'm not entirely sure that I like that, so I'm probably going to undo that. I'm feeling it feels a little bit flat, so what I'm going to do in this instance is I'm going to duplicate, and I'm going to change the color ever so slightly. Back color maybe a little bit darker. I'm not sure if these colors are going to be too dark, but we can experiment. Hey, I feel like there's like a lot of what's going on here? Hello. Oh, so this happens quite a lot. If you find that something's not quite right, check that you've got which one is in front, whether it's your fill or your stroke. This happens to me all the time. Make sure you've got the fill selected or the stroke, and that will probably fix whatever the problem is. I'm thinking it's looking a little bit better. I quite like that. And maybe I'd add another layer just to make it even lighter, going the other way. Make it a little bit smaller. Oh, thank you, Adara. So those were the starter files that I was talking about. Every week you're going to have a new one to work with for each challenge. I quite like that. It's a bit busy though, so I might tweak that later, but that's a very, very simple way of creating a flower already. What are we missing? I feel like maybe the center could use an outline. Or a stroke line maybe. So when it comes to creating this sort of pattern design that we're going for, we have to pay attention to a couple of things: color and style for consistency. So you can decide whether you want to add things like gradients or outlines, or whether everything's going to be kind of monochromatic or not. It's entirely up to you. But I would put, oh, that is way too thick. I would probably suggest having a consistent style throughout. I don't think I like that too much. I feel like I might go without, but I feel like I should make a simple flower as well, because that one's quite busy. Let's move. I should duplicate that. We're going to talk about best practices later, because you probably are aware by now that I'm doing something that I probably shouldn't be. We'll see if you can work out what it is later. I'm going to get rid of some of these and... Oh, actually I quite like that. Just with the two of them is quite nice. Maybe remove some of the... Oh no, that's adding more instances. Maybe removing some of these instances. That's got an outline. Maybe... Do I make it thicker? I can. You can still like edit and change the shapes if you go into it. And I might just align them all so they actually fit. How many instances are there of this one? Ah, there's 11 on you. And if you're wondering what I'm looking at here, each time you tweak something in Illustrator, if you go to the properties window, you can kind of see, well, it's properties. So you can see the repeat options here, the angle, the instances. I'm pointing at my screen like you can see what I'm pointing at. You don't want more contrast between the top and bottom layers. That's a good point. I feel like maybe we could do. You mean like on this second flower? I feel like I do want that, you know. I quite like that as well. But let's add a bit more contrast, which is easy to do. If you double click on it and you can go on the color picker, ooh. We can change that as well. I might actually, because we've got one flower here. I feel like it's too many. Oh, 6 does not work. 12 seems to be the sweet spot here. That works for me. Oh, there we go. Actually, that works. I like that a lot. And this kind of gets rid of the problem I was having with the stroke. See, there's more than one way to get to the other, to get to whatever you're planning. And this works really well because then I can just kind of duplicate it and change the colors. So let's go with a different color that we have here. Oh no, it's changed the whole thing. And that is because I selected the entire layer rather than going into one of them and changing it, which is what I should have done. There we go. Nice. Okay, way happy with this. Sometimes you got to experiment a little. These are quite cute. I might change them a little bit later, but I think this is a good place to start for now. So I'm going to get rid of this one because it's not as much as I would like. So moving on, what was the other things I said? A book. So let's select another shape. Hello, Sad. How are you? Welcome to the stream. Now, I do see a book here. This one's an open book. So, let's do something like this then. I quite like the idea of like an open book that's just open with its pages, inviting you to read it. It sounds pretty cool to me. So let's do something like this. So I'm using my reference image over here. Going to warp the sides ever so slightly. So that's the top page. And I'm going to use the eyedropper tool and just select a color pick. It's a bit grayer than I would like. And I might tweak that a little bit as well. There we go. I like that already. So let's flip this over and rotate you. I'm going to press the A key as a shortcut for my direct select tool. There's, oopsie daisy. And there's our other page. Just need to grab that handle and bring it back a little bit. I actually quite like that. That's a cute open book sort of look there. I like that a lot. Hi, Ashraful. How are you? Welcome to the stream. We are just having a quick build of an autumnal pattern. For this stream, all we're doing is creating the groundwork. So here we've got our elements, and in the next stream I will show you how we're going to create a repeating pattern with them. So I'm going to drag these to the bottom, and I think this will be the color for the base of the book. Just going to add an extra path in here. Don't forget, I have already set your starter files over here. So if you are stuck on anything to create, we have some templates for you to work with. But yeah, oh, I think that's actually a little bit too dark. We've got 5 minutes left, so we're going to speed through these, but feel free to continue asking any questions you might have. Next time you see this, these will be a little bit more refined, but at least you understand kind of the thought process and what you might want to consider when you're making your repeating patterns. I want to tweak that a little bit. So you are down here, and oh, that's cute. I like that. Okay, and we rotate you a little bit. No, need to lock that. Lock your layers, or they will misbehave like mine constantly do. Storm, this time it's been lovely. I'm off. I'll give this a watch a bit later. Thank you so much for sticking around, Nate. I hope to see you next week and we do a little bit more with this. Okay, so there's our base book. Oh no, I forgot I locked the layer. So that's 2 items down. What else did I say? Oh, a mug. Again, if you've ever been in my streams, you know that we always end up coming back to food eventually. And this time is no different. Though, would you say a mug is food? I don't know. Maybe not. So I'm going to start with the top shape, and I think like a nice round mug. I think round mugs are cuter. So I'm going to drag the sides so they kind of attach a little bit. Yes. And then what I'm going to do is use a function you might be familiar with. It is this shape builder, and I'm going to use that. Actually, this needs to intersect a little bit more. Because I just want to get rid of the top. It's going to get rid of both. No. I think it's just because the shape is a little bit on the small side, which is an easy fix to make. You just drag it over a little bit more. Select that, hold, select all of it actually. Hold Alt and that deletes the top, which is good. That's a good start. I like that. Then with this shape, I'll bring it in a little bit. We're going to imagine this hot chocolate, I think, because what else are you going to drink in this weather? Hot chocolate, we'll add a handle. We'll turn that into a stroke, and we will select this color. I think a thick handle sounds good to me, maybe even thicker than that. And I'll probably warp this, bring this in. Oh, thank you, Alessandra. Oh, if my mouse didn't keep double clicking. There we are. And I think I'll probably... I'll refine this a little bit later. That's a little bit better. And I think just so I can have this a little bit neater for now, we will do this. And as I say, I will refine it a little bit later. Oh, hello. What's that? There we go. So we've only got like a minute left. I actually feel like we should add a heart or something. We could even add a flower over the top of this. So we've got 3 designs, and I think I will add a pumpkin off stream. But this gives you a good idea of how to start with these patterns. And what I want you to do, which is something that I should have been doing throughout all of this, but we'll do a little bit of tidy up before we go, is set your layers, name your layers, for goodness sake. So we're going to move a couple of things around here just so it's a little bit neater, because as you can see, we already have so many layers, and not knowing where they are is going to be a pain later. There we go. That's what's in this one? The book. And there we go. That is our very quick start on creating patterns. So next stream, we are going to turn this into a seamless repeating pattern. But thank you. As you thought, you wish it was an hour. I do too. I was having fun mixing and matching. But we will be back and we will continue with it next week. Same time, same place. I hope you enjoyed this quick look so far. And I hope to see what you guys come up with. And there is my alarm to go. Oh, I was having so much fun. All right. Well, Alessandra, Barbara, Robert, everyone, Stick around, there are more creative challenges coming up. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.